Hello everybody, my name is Eduardo Lagnam and welcome to our plant engineering workshop in 2020. This is going to be a quick seminar about the benefits of 3D modeling and laser scanning in the process and power design industry. I hope you enjoy it. Well, this is me now. I'm just holding in my hand a model 3D printed. Um, yeah, in front of me is a good colleague, former colleague of mine. We're looking at this. As this, we printed some 25 different models just for a presentation. Um, it took quite a long time to print, and we needed to resubmit the we need to resubmit for printing a good number of times, because when you send this to print, it sometimes it breaks, so the start is very slow. Now to print all of those, it took a long time, just roughly a month. So you need to be prepared to spend quite a lot of time. So the scale was roughly 1 in 50, and it's looking quite interesting to have in your hand something that you have modeled in 3D model. So on that perspective, um, was okay. One of the biggest problems we had were the platforms, because obviously the 3D printer attempts to print the platform. So thus, for those that think that the platforms cannot be printed, yes, they can be printed, but you need to cut bits and pieces. So overall, it's a laborious. Okay, so here's me again. Now you can see the model I got in my hands. On the left side, you can see the picture with the piping actually connecting some filters. You can see the 5D pipe, passing, above the platform level. It looks very interesting. Then on the right, you can see like a pipe rack on top of a structure that is a module, and you can see heat exchangers and some static equipment in two levels and a base plate. So it does look very interesting. So once you do this in the final pass, the final product looks quite appealing. Now the reality is that to obtain these two that you can see in the picture, there were kind of a good number of attempts. So we need to have a guy that was preparing the models for 3D printing, which may sound like not very appealing to many, but yes. The reasons are that these two models, they were reprinted a good number of times. So that many things that the printer could not print, or it would break. So you need to leave all of the things that are in size somewhere coherent with the minimum printing criteria. And that is why you can see this rather empty. So the 3D model that was on the screen was plenty of things, but the model that you can see in front of you, they're pretty much plot plans with only the largest pipe. All of the rest that is relatively small, it won't be printed. All right, so we can see now and conclude that 3D printing a model of any design it's certainly challenging. But despite of that, we keep being bombarded by propaganda and multimedia about not only printing a model but actually printing the plant. So that is what we're gonna look at now. So printing the model ended up being difficult. Now let's have a look at whether we could print the plant in itself. Well, we can say it just did not work. We'll put it plain. Only for just changing standard materials. That's a process that takes a long time. I just put myself as an example, only to change from a pipe that was done in standard carbon steel to non-metallic. It took me like some 9 months, and the results were not satisfactory. So overall, we can think that this is pretty much a fantasy, at least now. Well, it's me again. So we're coming here to the end of the 3D printing part of this presentation, and which we conclude that really 3D printing in plan layout it does not pay off. To be frank, that's what I can say. No, I mean 3D printing models, unless you really have a good reason to do it, does not seem to bring a lot of um, benefit. And now, if we then start talking about 3D printing anything bigger than that, I would be very concisely telling you that I'm not even aware if that is possible. So I wouldn't even think about doing it. So overall, we can conclude that as a verdict, yeah, there's not much or not benefit in this practice for plant design. And then we'll move to our next challenge. Well, now, how was very nice the previous presentation. So how do we uh, think this can be useful for the design engineering? Well, here we're looking at you know, one scanning that can be found in the internet, and I think this is self-explanatory. The benefits are limitless. That's it. Okay, so I think we're coming to the end of this presentation. So for those we are not familiar that are not familiar with construction, the use of laser scanning, and I think there is for this plant engineering workshop this year, there's a dedicated seminar about that. The quality control of the laser scanning technology is bringing is phenomenal. So basically, in as-built models or in construction yards or in buildings, the laser scanning can tell us, how things behave after thermal exposure, how deflections occur in roofs, how close we have been from displacements. So that's absolutely marvelous. So there is a lot of gain in the construction industry from the laser scanning technology, and that's already in place nowadays in industry, and it's going to be growing exponentially uh, in future. Well, we're just coming to an end to a very brief and friendly introduction seminar to 3D printing and 3D scanning for the process industry. For those that waited till now to know whether 3D printing and 3D scanning can be combined, um, I have to say that so far, unless you are an artist, that you can scan your doggy and then print it, there's not much field of application at this moment. Although we would expect some fields to grow in this sense. At the moment, it's still marginal. Not that something we could look at. And having said this, uh, I'll finish this presentation right now. Thank you very much for attending to this seminar. We'll see you in the next edition.